moment where she died in the back of my mind. Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
Here are 10 times David told on himself, and none of us noticed until it was too late. Here's where the timeline gets truly eerie. The official music video for Romantic Homicide premiered on the 7th of September 2022, the exact same date as Celeste Rivas Hernandez's birthday. Now tell me, is this a coincidence too? This wasn't a random date on the calendar. It was the birthday of the very girl later found in his car. The song's lyrics talk about killing someone in the back of my mind, and the video is soaked in grief, regret, and emotional detachment. Add in the release date, and it stops feeling like art and starts looking like a hidden message. Buckle up, because this next clue blurs the line between performance and confession. In a resurfaced interview from March 2025, David casually talks about his so-called alter ego, Tommy. He describes Tommy as the evil version of himself, a character who commits violent acts, while another version, the detective, tries to solve them. Then he adds, almost proudly, "It's like killing in the back of my mind," and he says it with a straight face.
He's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it.
At first, fans treated it like typical creative talk, an artist explaining his process, pulling inspiration from anime or psychological storytelling. But after Celeste's death, the context changed entirely. Suddenly, this alter ego sounds less like a character and more like a compartmentalized confession. This one is just too much. David wrote a song titled Celeste, yes, the same name as the girl found in his car. He did not release it, but it got leaked.
A leaked song called Celeste.
Yeah, the lyrics to this song now, like you said, looking through today's lens, very interesting. This is a song, it was unreleased, but it did leak on SoundCloud in December of 2023. Some of the lyrics, and again, the title was Celeste. It says, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed."
At first listen, it might sound like another moody love song. But in the context of the case, every line suddenly sounds incriminating. A tattoo, a lingering scent, a name that now echoes across headlines, it's too pointed to ignore. It has not been proven yet, but if David is guilty, then it's almost like he couldn't resist leaving breadcrumbs, like part of him wanted to be caught or remembered. Because if this song truly has no connection to Celeste, then it's the worst coincidence in music history. And if it does, well, that's not art. That's a confession in the form of melody. Let's start with the song that put David on the map, Romantic Homicide. It dropped back in 2022, long before the case even began, but in hindsight, the lyrics sound chilling. He sings, "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it." That isn't your usual heartbreak poetry. That's a straight-up emotional confession wrapped in melody. The music video adds another layer. The visuals are dark, almost suffocating. The entire thing feels less like a love song and more like a symbolic reenactment of guilt. At first, fans brushed it off as edgy art, just another Gen Z anthem about emotional pain. But now, with everything we know, it feels disturbingly predictive. Was it creativity or a subconscious confession? Maybe both. Because Romantic Homicide didn't just make him famous, it might have told us everything we needed to know 2 years before anyone was listening. Now let's talk about the tattoos, because this one sent chills down everyone's spine. Both David and Celeste had the same ink, the word "shh" tattooed on their right index fingers. Her autopsy confirmed it, and his tattoo is visible in countless photos and videos. It is hard to believe that this is a coincidence. Why would a grown man have the same tattoo as a 14-year-old girl unless they were much closer than anyone realized? Matching tattoos between an adult and a minor aren't edgy, they're alarming. Whether it was a symbol of secrecy or control, the message is clear. This connection ran deeper than it ever should have. Now, this one is impossible to unsee. When you look at the girls featured in David's romantic Homicide and other music videos, the resemblance to Celeste is unsettling. It's like watching a recreation rather than a coincidence. Fans have done side-by-side comparisons, and honestly, they do look alike. Was it an artistic choice or a subconscious confession? Either way, the pattern is there. Different videos, different characters, but eerily resembling the same real person whose story ended in tragedy. Coincidence doesn't usually come with this much detail. Rehab is another song that sounds more like a dark confession. The lyrics are drenched in violence, bodies stacked, broken hearts, and bloody sandals. Pair that with an animated scene of his alter ego, Itami, committing violence. Even the lesser-known lines from the song raise eyebrows. She thinks she's too good for me now. She fell in love with the devil again. You can't run or hide from me now. Stay upset, trying to keep you from self-destructing. That's not romance. That's possession. It reads like someone obsessed with control, desperate to hold on to someone slipping away. The parallels between this video and Celeste's fate are impossible to ignore. In the case files, her body was found wrapped and decomposed in the trunk of his Tesla. And here, months earlier, David was already visualizing violence, guilt, and destruction in his art. Before the fame, David dropped More Than Just Friends, a track that sounds innocent until you really listen. He sings, "You told me we would never be more than just friends, but I don't really care. I'm gonna put it to an end." Then comes the line that's hard to defend. "I told you, keep it 10 or you'll end up dead." So what is it? A warning? A threat? Maybe even a message directed at someone specific? Reddit's been buzzing with theories that this wasn't metaphorical, it was personal. Some think it was David's way of telling Celeste to stay quiet about their connection, especially if the rumors about their relationship being secret and starting when she was underage are true. Then came one of the most emotional revelations, an interview with Celeste's ex-boyfriend. He told reporters that Celeste once mentioned being involved with a guy named David. It's heartbreaking, but it connects dots that no one wanted to believe. If true, it's a direct link between the victim and the artist. No speculation, no coincidence. It also strengthens theories about grooming and secret contact, especially given her age. The details are still under review, but the mention alone is chilling. This is where suspicion turns into strategy. Just one day after Celeste's identity was confirmed on September 17, David transferred ownership of 2 Texas homes, high-value properties near Houston, straight into his mother's trust. The first transfer was filed on the 18th, and another followed on the 23rd. Legal documents show both deeds were officially removed from his name. Sure, some people might call it smart estate planning, but in the middle of an active homicide investigation, that's not timing, that's panic. Analysts call it a red flag. In true crime, sudden financial transfers scream damage control. If he were innocent, he'd have nothing to shield. But everything about these moves suggests he's preparing for consequences, legal, financial, or both. Soon after the property shuffle, David hired Blair Burke, a top-tier defense attorney known for representing names like Harvey Weinstein. That's not your average legal counsel, that's crisis management. When someone hires a lawyer of that caliber before being officially charged, it usually means they're expecting what's coming next. So what do you think? Are these moments just art or warnings we all ignored? Subscribe to the channel and keep your eyes open, because if David really did tell on himself, this story isn't over. It's just getting started.